She's like, love. I'm like, love? I'm like, what is love? What do you know about love? Let me ask you a question. How do you define love? And she's like, well, love is like, like when I think about love, I see my mother and my father, and I think about how they are and how they're together. No, mommy, those are actions of love. But what is love? How do you know that you're staying here because of love? What is love? What is love? We're all looking for love. You're explaining aspects of love, but what is love? She had no idea. She's like, I never thought about it like that. And I said, this is my point. But yet you're quick to say that the reason why you're staying in this situation that is tearing you down is because of love. But yet you can't even define love. So she's like, well, how do you define it? And I said, well, that's a great question, man. And it took me a long time to understand. Many toxic relationships, many fights and arguments, and the word used over 1,000,000 times without ever understanding what it is, until I really understood. And to me, I can best describe love as a flower, but this flower that's growing in the wild, and as you walk past this flower, you see it, right? And what do? You have a choice. You could either leave the flower, or you could take the flower home with you. Most people, they clip the flower. They'll clip the flower, they'll smell it, they love it, they'll brag about it, they'll show it to all their friends, they'll take it home, they'll dip the flower in acid, they'll hang it upside down, they'll put it in a book. They do all these things to try to keep the natural order of this flower that they love so much. So beautiful. It's the most beautiful flower I've ever seen in my life. I love it. And they'll hold on to it for 20, 30 years possibly. But is that love? It is not love. That's lust. And it took me to understand within my own relationships the difference between lust and love, right? To pick the flower is lust. To leave the flower in its element is love. Because as soon as you pick the flower, you just killed what you love or what you proclaim to love. You ended its life. And now you're doing everything to try to preserve it in your own egoic, narcissistic way, but you just killed the flower. You chopped it in half. That's not love. Love is to leave the flower, right? You nourish the flower. You're making sure that the soil is its best. You're making sure that it's getting all the sunlight that it needs. You're making sure that the wind doesn't blow it over too hard. You're doing everything that you can do to keep the flower in its natural state. You don't want to change a thing about it. That is love. You change your life for the flower. Because you love this flower so much, you're rescheduling your time so you can pass by this flower every day. You're doing different things in your life. You're altering your life because you love this flower. That is love. That is the essence of what love is, where you don't want to change a thing about this person, even their bad things, because you understand this person holistically. You understand their traumas. You understand why they're thinking the way they think. You understand why they're making the choices that they make. You understand all of this stuff.